Question number 6, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Is it correct that Treasury have advised him that they expect unemployment to rise above 6% in the coming months and that there will be weak earnings growth over the rest of 2015?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, and that's on the basis of the economy being a bit softer in the first half of this year.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
What has gone so wrong with the economy that more than 150,000 people are expected to be out of work over the next year and that expectations of wage increases are the lowest in more than a decade?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, it's not surprising the expectation of wage increases are low because inflation's low. In fact, in the year to September, average hourly earnings Treasury expects to increase by 2.5%, well ahead of inflation for that year of 0.4%. So households are getting bigger real wage increases than for many years out of the last 10 or 15.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
With unemployment going over 6%, meaning more than 150,000 New Zealanders will be out of work, can he tell the House one new thing he will do to reduce unemployment, or does he not care about that?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, it is disappointing that unemployment has risen slightly off the back of a softer economy. And one thing we can do is to protect innovative policies like the 90-day trial period from criticism by the opposition, because that enables people who are on welfare and may be penalised for that to have an opportunity to show an employer they've got what it takes, but the Labor Party would want to stop that person getting that opportunity.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
In light of the Minister not having one new idea for what to do about unemployment, can he tell the House whether he thinks the economy is a success when growth is now slipping below 2% and unemployment is rising well above 6%? How's that a success?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the economy has adapted well and quite rapidly to a sharp drop in dairy prices. And one of the reasons they have confidence is because the national government, the national-led government, has now signed up to the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement, and a lot of New Zealanders are wondering whether the Labor Party can take the step of supporting that agreement, because that agreement will support new jobs. The Greens, of course, will oppose it because they're against jobs. New Zealand First will oppose it because they're against jobs. We're hoping the Labor Party might support it because apparently they're for new jobs.
Question, Mr Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
If, as forecast, unemployment goes over 7% early next year, will he come up with one new idea to create jobs in New Zealand, or is unemployment of that rate acceptable to him?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the government doesn't wait round for unemployment to go up. We got on and negotiated and were an integral part of negotiating the world's largest free trade agreement. And it will support, in the future, thousands of jobs in New Zealand. The only question mark over it is whether the Labor Party will support it or not. That's an idea from the government. It will support jobs, and we invite the Labor Party to sort out their internal differences and support the TPP.
Order. Point of order, the Right Honourable
Mr Speaker, the Labor Party or any other party's policy has nothing to do with the answer.
Order, can I have the point of order?
And the point of order is he should have been brought back to the question to answer that.
Order, no. As I've explained to the member on many occasions, the length of time and the scope I give to any minister answering a question depends on the type of question that was asked. And in that case, the question asked probably wasn't in line with standing order strictly, but I certainly allowed it, but it gave a very wide berth to the Minister in answering.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Question, Grant Robertson.
Is an unemployment rate of over 7% acceptable to the Minister? And if not, what will he do to change that, given that his government's policies have seen unemployment continually rise over the last 4 quarters?
Either one of those two supplementary questions, the Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, no, 7% unemployment is not the case, actually. It's nowhere near that. And if it was there, it would be unacceptable. But the next step the House can take is to support the Korean Free Trade Agreement and the Trans-Pacific Partnership Free Trade Agreement, because that would show to business that this parliament understands what it takes to get jobs, and not just a national-led government.
Question number 7, Right Honourable Winston Peters.